Disney has been a part of my life for all of my life. So today I am going to share with you some of my faves. I grew up watching Disney cartoons. They make me happy. They give me peace. It gives you a sense of escapism. I still watch them to this day, cartoons. They just make me happy. I just love them. I love the music. I love the colors. I love the worlds that are created. I love the fact that you can get lost in these places that seem, well, that are non-existent and just feel for a few hours like you are part of those worlds. So today I am going to share with you my top 5 favorite Disney animated cartoons. I am going to be sticking to those produced by the Disney Animation Studio only. So no Pixar, no Studio Ghibli, none of that. Just Disney's animated studio. So let's go. Number 5. Number 5 on my list is The Emperor's New Groove, which was released in 2000. It feels like a long time ago. Anywho, The Emperor's New Groove follows the Emperor, go figure, called Kuzco, who is arrogant. He's just a horrible guy. And his advisor, who he fires at the beginning, tries to kill him and take over the throne. An accident happens and he gets turned into a llama. And one thing leads to another and he's stuck in the forest. And the only saving grace for him is a peasant called Pacha, who helps him find his way back to his kingdom so that he can find the cure to, or the potion that will get him back to being himself. And that is pretty much what The Emperor's New Groove is about. In the middle of him trying to get back to his empire, he also has to avoid Yzma, who is trying to finish off the job that she did not finish and instead turned him into a llama. So this just follows the adventures that these characters have trying to get back what they want or what they once had or something or other. Anyways, that's the story. So the reason that I really loved this cartoon is there's some Disney cartoons that just don't quite give me that feeling of joy, the pleasure. I just love the colors. And not to say that Disney is not generally colorful, but this was kind of extra colorful. The animation had kind of an Aztec-y kind of vibe to it. Not very realistic at all. The characters are very exaggerated, like the animation is very exaggerated, which kind of adds to this world that has been created. It's very different from some of the older stuff that Disney did, because Disney tends to make their characters look quite real, fair enough. But in this case, they just had a very, very unreal, exaggerated look about them, which was pretty cool. It's just fun. It's beautiful. This actually does not have as much singing, as much music as you would expect in a Disney cartoon. I mean, there is a little bit of music, but not as much as you would expect, which I kind of like, because sometimes I get tired of hearing the songs. I just want to watch something without too much music. So I liked that about The Emperor's New Groove. There are also a lot of famous voices in this cartoon. Eartha Kitt, I think, does the voice of Yzma. She was really good. She's really great. David Spade does the voice of the Emperor. He's really funny. And then Patrick Warburton, who I love, is also a character. I can't remember what his character's name was, but he is actually a really cool character. If you haven't seen The Emperor's New Groove, watch it. You'll love it. I give you my word. Okay, I can't really give you my word because we may not share the same taste, but I think it's great. So check it out if you haven't already seen it. And if you have, please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. All right, on to number 4. Number 4 on my list is The Little Mermaid, which was released in 1989. Jeez, I was a baby then. Yeah, so it was released in 1989 and it follows a little mermaid called Ariel, who is a princess. Her father, King Triton, is the king of the seas, I guess. And Ariel loves everything human. She just loves humans. She's fascinated by the world of humans. Her father, on the other hand, is opposed to this world, hates them, doesn't want anyone to have anything to do with them, just wants them to remain under the sea. He thinks that humans are evil. He just does not want her or any of his daughters to have anything to do with the human world. The story begins with Ariel swimming to the surface and encountering a ship where she sees for the first time this prince called Eric, who's celebrating his birthday. A storm comes along, the ship goes into chaos, and everybody, I guess the storm comes along and the ship starts to submerge. And does it start to submerge? No, I think Eric is Eric is thrown overboard and Ariel saves his life, and he catches a glimpse of her in the sunlight and never actually sees who actually saved his life. He just has a vague idea of what she looks like. So she's all in love with him and she wants to be human. She wants to spend time with him, but her father ain't having it. So what does Ariel do? She goes to the sea witch and she looks for help from her to turn her human. The sea witch, of course, obliges, but it comes at a price. And I will let you watch the cartoon if you haven't already, and you can find out what the price is. And if you've watched it already, then you know what happens anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much the story of The Little Mermaid. It's fabulous. I love it. This cartoon is all about land meets sea, or sea meets land, depending on how you want to look at it. I love the fact that it's so sweet, it's romantic. I remember thinking Ariel was so beautiful, which she was, and Eric so handsome, and I just really wanted them to get together, and it was so sweet, so pure. But then that's pretty much Disney cartoons, right? And it was, I suppose, my first taste of romance, I guess. It's beautiful, beautiful cartoon. The animation is a bit more realistic, except for like exaggerated eyes or like exaggerated bodies, but not so much so you think, oh yeah, that's impossible. So a bit of exaggeration, but that's what happens in cartoons, right? Another thing that I love about The Little Mermaid is the music, the soundtrack. There are so many beautiful songs in this cartoon and they're so memorable. Like, I know every song by heart. Perfection when it comes to the soundtrack. I think most people that watch Disney cartoons go into it falling in love with the music, and well, not always, but most of the time they create fantastic songs, and the music for this cartoon was amazing. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cartoon, and if you have not seen it, where have you been living? Under a rock? And yeah, anyways, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's great. And if you have, please tell me your thoughts in the comment section. I would really like to hear what you think about The Little Mermaid. Okay, on to my next. Number 3. Number 3 on my list is Aladdin. Aladdin follows the lead character by the name Aladdin. And it follows him. He's like a thief, street rat, street urchin. And it follows his life as he craves to be more than what he is. He wants to live this life that he's never had because he's poor and he wants to be rich. He just wants what he considers the perfect life. And he's got like this incredible view of the palace and he just wishes that that was his life. And one thing leads to another. He meets the princess, falls in love with her. And of course he can't marry her because he's poor. She's the princess. It's never going to happen. He gets a magical lamp, gets 3 wishes, and then chaos ensues. That's pretty much it. I'm trying not to go into too much detail, but I think most people know what Aladdin is about. It is one of my faves. I have watched this countless times. Oh my goodness, it's just great. My favorite part of Aladdin, and I think most people's favorite part of Aladdin, is Robin Williams doing the voice of the genie. That role was meant for him. And you may not know that John Candy, Eddie Murphy, and Steve Martin were also considered for the part, but I think initially when it was created, they always wanted Robin Williams to play the part, which he did, and he improvised a lot of the lines, which I think is pretty clear, really clever. So he was so fantastic. And I know he didn't do the voice of the genie in the 2nd or 3rd movies because he had issues with Disney, which is disappointing. but he was fantastic. Best thing about Aladdin, for me anyways. Music, again, in this is fabulous. It is so beautiful. Again, I think I know the words to every song. Beautiful soundtrack, beautifully written songs, just perfection. A fun fact I would like to share with you is that Aladdin was actually modelled-ish off of Tom Cruise. I think initially they were trying to model him off of Michael J. Fox, but they decided to go with Tom Cruise. So if you didn't know, now you know. Okie dokie. Number 2. Number 2 on my list is The Lion King. I love The Lion King. It is number 2 on my list, so one of my all-time favorites. It is a stunning, stunning cartoon, and it follows a cub called Simba, born into the royal family. His dad gets murdered by his uncle. His uncle makes him believe that he's responsible, so he runs off into exile, believing that he's responsible for his father's death. He meets Timon and Pumbaa, and he learns a lot of lessons as he grows up, goes back to his land, Pride Rock. Yeah, goes back to Pride Rock, where he was born, to reclaim his kingdom. And that is pretty much The Lion King. The Lion King was actually the first animation by Disney that was an original story, because all their other stories prior to The Lion King were based off of existing stories that they just based their stories off of. I already said that. But yeah, so The Lion King was the first original story, and I gotta say, it was fantastic. I love it to this day. One of my all-time favorites. What I loved about the cartoon was the fact that the animals had these characters and personalities, and they had expressions, and you got to feel like they were real people, even though they're animals, but they got the human vibe, which was nice because that's what you want in a cartoon. You want it to be fun, and you want to be able to relate to these characters that have been created. And that was the issue that I had with the live action version of The Lion King. It was like watching a documentary because they had no expressions, they had no characters, they were delivering the lines, and it was cool visually, but it just didn't work. So the live action for me is a no. The cartoon is a yes. Alrighty, Number 1 on my list, and my all-time favorite Disney cartoon ever, is Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. Beauty and the Beast follows this girl called Belle who doesn't quite fit into this little village in Paris that she lives in, and her father gets held captive by this beast in this castle. She goes to negotiate with the beast and asks for her father's freedom in exchange for her. So father is released and she's held prisoner. And she gets to know the beast and finds out that there is a secret that he is hiding, and underneath his vicious demeanor is actually a really lovely, lovely, lovely beastie person thing. I'm sure most of you have watched Beauty and the Beast, or at least know how it turns out, but I'm just not going to go into the details of what happens just in case you haven't. But I'm pretty sure by now most people have. I'd like to think that you have. If you haven't, watch it. It's great. I can't put my finger on one exact thing that makes it my favorite of all time. I just remember the first time that I watched it, I fell in love, and I have watched it over and over and over and over again, and I never get bored. Beauty and the Beast is what I go to when I'm sad, when I'm happy, when I'm feeling kind of meh. You know, every emotion that I feel, it just kind of brings me a sense of peace. It's such a beautiful piece of work. I just love it. I love the lead characters. I love the music. It's just so beautifully done. It's such a romantic story, and I'm a sucker for romance. It's really great. It's just, I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it just is. It gives me a feeling that none of the others have ever given me. So that is why it is number 1 on my list. Beauty and the Beast. Check it out. You'll love it. Okay, guys, that is it. That is all. That is my list. My top 5 favorite Disney animations. And I don't know if you guys watch any cartoons. I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you probably do. So leave some comments. Tell me what your favorites are. I'd really like to know. I'd like to know if there's something that you think I should have included in this list. I mean, obviously we all have different tastes, but it'll be interesting to see what other people think is, or believe what other people consider their favorite Disney cartoon. So I look forward to reading your comments. With that in mind, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and most importantly, please come back and watch more videos. Have a great day, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.